Good morning and welcome back to day 2 of the 4th Social Enterprise Advocacy and Leveraging SEAL Asia Conference. I'm very pleased to join you today. I'm Anna from Bina Swadaya Consultant. BSK is the member of Trubus Bina Swadaya, one NGO in Indonesia. I will be moderating the opening session of day 2. Sir and Ma'am, we have 2 keynote speakers today. Join us at the UN Conference Center A, Khun Mechai Viravaidya and Mr. Jason Jacobs. Khun Mechai Viravaidya, the founder and chair of the Population and Community Development Association. Since 1974, PDA has initiated community-based family planning services, innovation, poverty reduction, and rural era education program, large-scale rural development, and environmental program, and as well as groundbreaking HIV/AIDS prevention activities through Thailand. Mechai's latest innovation in social enterprise is the Business for Rural Education and Development Co. Ltd, which is the force to achieve profitability and eventually assist PDA attain a higher level of financial sustainability through business activity such as rural tours, homestay, and e-commerce for rural agriculture products and handicraft. Please, sir, time over to you for speaking.
Good morning, everyone. Let me begin to tell you about what we've been trying to do very briefly over the last 48 years. So in Thailand, I'm the old man of social enterprise. I press it, doesn't work. Sorry. มันไม่เลื่อนนี่
อันนี้คือสไลด์ใหม่เลย sorry
UN equipment.
Maybe they heard you were coming.
ไปหลังก่อนเถอะ Okay, so the title I've given for this talk is what PDA's 48 years of experience in social enterprise. It had its successes, had its failures, but it's still alive. So here is the approach at a sustainable road out of disparity and inequality, and it's through business, and not through welfare or religion. Doesn't say that religion doesn't work, but don't depend on it. So in the past, in my generation, when people wanted to help society to do something good to get out of poverty, and they usually start by setting up an NGO, a foundation, or an association. And they use the welfare approach instead of establishing a foundation or association alone to do public good. I believe the best alternative is to establish a social enterprise and move down the road toward financial sustainability. Start off that way. So you can have your foundations and associations, that's fine, but don't do it alone. Just like a bicycle, you need 2 wheels, and move down the road towards financial sustainability. Our own experience, we call it Business for Social Progress began in 1975. So it's 48 years ago. We classified our business activities into two categories. The first one is optimization of profit. The second is maximization of profit. So this optimization, and the second one is maximization of profit. I think you can guess what it means. The first one is optimization, is that business activities with people who are poor and you can't afford much money. Therefore, there's little room for profit or capital formation. You have to take that into consideration and have an extra wheel. So the maximization is to business activities with people who have money and are willing to spend that money. And so there's good profit margin and capital formation is possible, and which can grow faster. And to both types of businesses can be used to help the poor. So one is the doer and funder. It also helps to start for the second one, the optimization of profit. So what do? You can do with the profits. That we didn't have any law. We just had to register as a we registered as a company and paid tax at the time was 35%, which is fine. And we said that no distribution of profits. You can use the profits for reserve, business expansion, and charitable activities. And here's the first example of what this optimization. This is 48 years ago. We wanted to do family planning in a different way to the regular doctor one. We want to use the midwives and also the shopkeepers to do it. And they were happy to do it. So my point is that to use those you're trying to help to be your helper, and they became very good. So this is a local shopkeeper. So you can see the Coca-Cola sign is still there, and people can get their pills and condoms there. They can go to the government for free, but that's a long way away. But if you cannot afford it, you can do it by doing community service or tree planting. So we don't turn anyone away, but none of you are beggars. You have time and you have a good heart. So use that. So that was how we began earlier on. But we also knew that this would not be enough to fund any new activity. We needed to do income generations on. So we realized that we need a second. First one is optimization of profit. The second one is maximization of profit. So the maximization helps to fund the optimization. So here's an example. The floating market even have contraceptives everywhere. In our case, or wherever you go, you've got to have contraceptives. So that's why we have our restaurant called Cabbages and Condoms. It was to reply that if family planning was to work, then contraceptives had to be as easily found as vegetables in every village. And so here's an example, optimization. We did family planning and then healthcare, but that did not earn enough money, but it was good. So we went to and do something else. This is also optimization. This is rural development, helping to build bridges and water tanks. On the right is the water tank. We have built over 50,000 of them, more than any government department doing it. And what we did was that we got the money given to us by a German foundation, and the villagers gave the labor. We provided the money for the cement, and they paid back in doing community service, and some paid back in cash. Okay. And so research and consultancy services, this for the more upmarket group. The other one, rural tourism, ecosystem. This makes some money, but it's mostly aimed at helping people at the bottom end. And here's a restaurant in Bangkok, probably the world's most famous Thai restaurant called Cabbages and Condoms. We even have a dish called condom salad. So you can see, this is one I'm more successful. It used to make about $10,000 a night. $10,000 a night. So that's healthy. And so we were able to use the profits from here some into reserve expansion, and then to help fund activities of PDA. And at one time, we were able, not only this, but others, we were able to fund about 75% of all our activities. And the donors liked it because we said, you don't have to give us $1, you give us $50, we'll put the other half in. They liked that. So it made sense. And so we have given many marts where the restaurants are, about 18, 19 in the country. And we also have resorts and hotels in the mountains. And again, this is a combination, maximization profit, but for those who want to come for special activities for the poor, we give you a very special price. So it's flexible. And here's the one in Pattaya, a very famous one, right on the beach. And the hotel's called Birds and Bees, and the restaurants called Cabbages and Condoms. Again, it's all to do with sex. And here's the garden in the restaurant, and this restaurant and this hotel uses profit to fund the bamboo school, which I'll talk to later on. So it used something to do some more, and the bamboo school is doing something else. So here's the restaurant by the seaside, very, very popular. And here's the restaurant in England, in Oxford. We have two in England. This is an old church. We turned the church into a condom restaurant. And we have a company called BREAD, Business for Rural Education and Development. It does agricultural produce, food, other activities. And again, the profits go to the school. And this one, we call it From Feather to Leather. We considered at the time, about 30 years ago, that chicken raising was good. And we did it, 5 rows, several 100,000 chickens. It gave us good profit for the first 5 years. And then we had to say goodbye to the chicken because chicken feed was becoming more and more expensive. We would be the loser if we kept on to, so we closed it, but we had to think what to do with it. Again, have to think, anyone who wants to do social marketing have to keep on thinking, because you're not going to have success all the time. This was success at first, then it's a failure. So what we did was that we had to prepare the building to receive machines. We went to the public companies and said that we will charge you only 50% of rent that you're paying to come here. And so they came. So we went from feather to leather, in cooperation with the private sector. Sinker and all the companies that make clothing and so on. So here is now bringing machines to people. In this one, we were able to bring about 15,000 people to work in several large centers where we had chickens. Again, this optimization, the company paid half of what they paid elsewhere, but they gave us good money and we use it to run the programs of the villages and to pay for the staff. And so here's a very simple manufacturing rule. Women had to leave the homes and go to town, and now they can come back. So this has been a very, very happy success. And then the government increased the tax, the income level, so people by 100%, they paid more. Companies couldn't afford it. So they had to go to Vietnam and Laos, and some stayed, but some had to go. And so what we have to do now, second failure. So we decided to do a special type of smart farming using factory building. That's done. It's now done at the school itself. And then this is a very interesting story from corn to trees. We started a project over 30 years ago, whereby we call it the Thai Business Initiative Rural Development, TBID, getting Thai companies or companies in Thailand to help partner with villages. And this was the first one we were able to do. I tried hard and only 2 companies came towards, addressed over 100 companies and only 2. So don't give up too easily. And this one, they went to this village that was growing corn, and the company said that you're not making a very good profit. You need to look at something else. So they said, we don't know what, but let's go. So they went around and they went to see an army camp that grew a lot of plants, trees. So that's what we can do. So they came back and started growing young plants, young trees, and started selling it. And then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. So then it went to all the Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and golf courses, housing estates, went on extremely well. And so here we've got kilometer and kilometer of all these now. The company only had helped one village, and the rest were self-learning. And so in this area, we had 8,000 rai or 3,400 acres. And this generated 2 billion baht per year. 2 billion baht per year. But then there's more that has expanded in another area. And so that in this one, in 25 years, they have earned 50 billion baht. I hardly dare to tell other people about it because it's so unbelievable, but you should have a chance to go and see it. And this example, they're now helping to run schools. They're doing many things, but they're doing it on their own. The government didn't go in to do it. This is a private sector who went in with a social NGO, and it started off, didn't give much money. It started with a loan. And so the UN said that this is the best practice for social enterprise. If you want to go and read that, you can download it quite easily. And then since 1990, we have helped to establish social enterprises in about over 1,000 villages. And so we established social as a called village bank. It's not registered as a bank, we just call it a bank. And so with a company, gender balance, and in return for the grants and donations, have to plant trees. So again, nothing is free. The villages plant trees, they got the money, and they use the money to set up the second organization, the microcredit loan fund. So you're getting to the donors happy to, first you get the trees. Second one is to have the loan fund established. They like it. So again, this is another way of doing it. Don't ask for anything free. The villagers have honor. Give them the honor. They can do it, and they like it. And so we have the women who helped run it. We have a bank, and run by women, half of women. And then if you want to borrow money, you must be trained first. This is what we call a barefoot MBA. We get villagers who are good at it. So these are the chilies, vegetables, mushrooms, very good income, and also crab processing. We help them not to be exploited by the merchants who would come in the evening and give them a very low price. If you don't sell it, it goes rotten. So we help them to get a refrigeration system so they didn't need to. So often you just have to get them to escape from the middlemen. And so here's another one, a loan fund for students, secondary school students. We had a scholarship for them before, 600 baht a month. Seemed nice, but it wasn't. And then so we said, if I stop, it stopped. So we said, from now on, we'll lend you money. So you go to the market. These are two sisters went to the market and decided what they liked. It was selling sausages. So they borrowed the money, started doing it after school. They were earning good money, 400 baht per day. And 200 baht was profit. The other one was cost. And so they started, and before long, they wanted to leave school. I said, no, you better stay. And so work out a system. So they worked out a system whereby their grandparents would sell during the day and they would sell during the afternoon. So here's an example, starting off by just looking at something new, and don't give up on children. So the banks of these are profit, have the profits are back into the fund, and the others are used for activities that they consider appropriate, healthcare, education, and the elderly. And so then we started a school to train social entrepreneurs, because the government wasn't doing it, the schools weren't doing it, so we decided to do it. It's called the Bamboo School. So here's fostering a new generation of social entrepreneurs at the Bamboo School. So in the future, we believe that social entrepreneurship should be taught and practiced in primary schools and secondary schools. That's what we're trying now in about 240 schools. This should become a part of the regular curriculum of all schools. So here's the Bamboo School. It's colorful. So become a lifelong learning center, and for all members of the community, not just the school, kids. So it acts as a gateway for social and economic advancement in surrounding villages. And so they get life skills and occupational skills. They also train students to be business skills and to write loans for parents to get out of poverty. So they learn about business in school as well. They have a loan fund, about $8,000 per class, to really do business. And 30% of the profits must go towards activities in the villages. And so here's paper. This is part of environment. This is paper making using old vegetables and fruit peels. So it's being taught to children, being taught in the villages. And so they're making the paper and we can sell the paper. And here's a new way of agriculture for poor people, elderly people. Little land, little water, little labor. And it goes very, very colorful. So here you don't need anything. You grow it on cement. You can grow it in these buckets and using coconut fiber. Students can do it. Elderly people can do it. Mushrooms, very good. Mushroom is excellent. 200% net profit. And also bean sprouts. And so there's hydroponics in the schools are being taught. And in the vegetables, they're earning a lot of money. We're using it for the elderly in the villages together with hospitals too. And so here's the hydroponic vegetables, the system assembled by grade 7 students. And melon also, all these are now being done by school children, and people going in and being surprised to see it. The problem is that they did not understand the skill level of the children. So we now have about the Bangkok schools, social enterprise in 50 schools per year. We've done about 245. So improve the quality of life and income around the school. So the villages have a very important say in what they want to do with the villages, not just the school, it's the villages and the school. Very strong participation. And so here's now the school and the children being involved in setting up a farm. We provide the fund from the private sector. We were able to get about 400 million baht over 7 years. So all the children growing vegetables, they can do it at home. The grandparents can do it at home. When the soil is so bad, don't worry about it. Grow in buckets. So the parents also go there. So the parents are now very heavily involved with the school. So here's the morning glory. Vegetable selling by kindergarten, primary school students. They're raising chickens. The prime minister visiting the school. And you get the children to do the explanation, not the teachers. And so here's the melon being grown by students. All these are primary grade 5. Grade 5 students. And then the UN said the bamboo school is a good school. And so that's what I'd like to suggest now, that let me propose in closing that we must go through the school system. The school has building, has land, has water, electricity, has teachers, directors, parents, all that you would want for hardware and software, but we're not using it. And they're very to help, and the villages are very happy to help. So now we've gone from the school, the children growing vegetables, and now going to the grandparents in the village, and the children are taking. So we're using this program to provide food and income security for the elderly. They had great difficulty during the COVID period, and so that this is now work. And now what's happening is that the local hospital are working with us, whereby they will identify those who are sick and need health care and who are poor, and we will do the poor side. So we now have a new partner at local district hospital, which there are 700 in Thailand. So that to work together, finding new partners. So we started with other school as our partner, and then temples as partner, and now local hospital, and I'm sure there are more, and getting people involved. So, and then finally, I'd like to suggest that we take a good look at where our oxygen is going to come from. We're sitting here, we need oxygen. Are you going to go to the government? Unlikely. You're going to get much from the UN? Smiles. Because UN works with the government. So go to where the oxygen is made, the business community. They know how to do business. They know how to make money. Get them to be involved. And to get every aspect of it is finally is to say that we need to improve CSR. And CSR at the moment doesn't really work very well because there's no ISR, no individual social responsibility. We need the individual social responsibility. When you do that, then the company can be alive. Like we're now working with Shell Company. They say that every staff member must understand what we're trying to do and be involved. They have a Shell days. And so that's from the chairman all the way down the staff to the pump stations, they're all being involved. And so that's not enough. Everyone's involved. But now they have a smart one called second CSR, customer social responsibility. Shell customers are richer than Shell. Go to them. You got companies, you got airlines, you got hotel, all these are there. We can go to them and they can just tell their customers to join in. And if the customers begin to join in, the company is much more attracted to doing it. And with the Shell, we were able to get 9 million baht per day, 2 days, 18 million baht to be used to help to establish social enterprises in schools and to work with also those who are wheelchair bound and those who are deaf. Also people with difficulties in life. So these are the things that are doing. And I think that we have to go to CSR and also to every company that gives money in CSR, they must help with social enterprise, help to establish social, let's say you're all units, I come from a company, I'll help to establish social enterprise and use some of my staff to sit on the board of the company to give you a business director because we're not business people, but they can. So that's another way I'd like to suggest we keep on moving. And yesterday I talked to the National Defense College and they have many, many seminars. And I'd like to get them to go to the senior people to say, look, get CSR going and also get social enterprises going at the same time. So thank you. Sorry for going a little bit over time.
Yes, thank you, sir, for your valuable sharing. We have many inspiring and also learning. Yes, okay. Yes, everyone, we are going to hear from second keynote speakers. Our second keynote speaker is Mr. Jason Jacobs, the director of the Bina Consortium in the New Zealand and co-chairperson in Catalyze 2030 Australasia chapter. In 2019, Jason Jacobs had a vision of bringing all his friends together to form a consortium that would align international perspective, ideology with Maori concept and challenges presented globally to build connection for generations to come, addressing innovation, ideas, and creating for the meaningful relationship one other's respective land. To support Aotearoa with a local, global, by creating a resilient, clear path for development of land for our present and future generations, where awareness, knowledge, and funding will combine to produce a strategic journey that will establish new standards of intergenerational climate resilience. Regenerating land will benefit the local community, the people out there, Yarora, and set an international benchmark. Mr. Jason, the time over to you. Please do speaking.
Thank you very much. Tihe mauri ora, a mā te rā e kawa mai, te nā ia rā. Mā te marama e whakaora i a koe e whaenga po. Mā te au e huroi au maharara. Mā te hau e pupuhi i te pakahu ki roto i tō tinana i roto i o hikotanga i te au. Kia whakoro koe ki te humari e atahua hoi o ura mō ake tonu atu haumi e hui e tāiki e. The life force of us all combined, may the sun bring you energy by the day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the wind blow new strength into your being. May you walk on this earth in peace, all the days of your life and know its beauty forever and ever, united together as one. Good morning to all present. A big thank you to the wonderful speaker that we had just before myself, Mr. Mechai Viravaidya. Wonderful things. And our young innovator, Mr. Mechai would say, that this is so fundamentally important. And our distinguished guests within Asia and further abroad, we thank ICEA and UNICEF for co-organising the support groups, Catalyst 2030, which I am a part of, the Asia Pacific Regional CSO Engagement Mechanism, Social and Community Enterprise Constituency, Oxfam, the Embassy of Swadaya in Bangkok, the Association of Progressive Communications, and of course, Social Enterprise Thailand. To our wonderful participants online and attending in person at this 4th SEAL Asia Conference held in the UN Conference Centre in Bangkok, we are here, day 2. I humbly have been given the honour of opening it with Mr. Mechai for us today in my Turanga Waiwai, place of standing from Aotearoa, New Zealand. Firstly, I'd just like everyone, if you're online, I'd like you to just go to the emojis icon, and for the next 15 seconds, I'd like you to hit the hearts or any emoji you want to hit, for example. And in the audience, I'd like you to give a heart for all our people that unfortunately passed in this environmental impasse we've had in the last 3 years. So for the next 15 seconds, I'd love you online to just load it with love and hearts. So there's me starting it, and everyone in the room, I'd love you to just put up a heart, because this is paying respects to our people that have fallen and our people that we're trying to help, our people that were taken in this very unfortunate situation. So I wanted to send a bit of love and aroha from Aotearoa, and so for the next, just load it up with hearts and sunsets, and that's what it's all about, people, that we be here for each other. So thank you very much for that. So may the hearts you see today inspire and lift you all to be present for the communities you wish to serve. I am the co-chair of Australasian Catalyst 2030, also co-chair with Usha Murphy from Sydney, Australia. Usha sends her gratitude and well wishes for all present online and in person. And later today, you will get to interact with our inspirational founder of Catalyst 2030, Jaru Bilamoria, speaking later today in the present panel. Could we just play the video, please, Goma? Thank you, Goma.
Kia taputahi, kia potahira, tātou
That song translated in English means, line up together, people, all of us, all of us. Stand in rows, people, all of us, all of us. Seek after knowledge and love of others, everyone. Think as one, act as one. All of us, all of us, all of us, all of us. That's an old song that was played in Aotearoa to help communities come together in this time that we all had to face globally across the world. So I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, what I'm going to be speaking about a little bit about today is the values and how the values are represented for our people. And as our wonderful speaker spoke about, planting, growing, giving nutrients to the soil, giving love to processes and people, well, that's fundamental in terms of our people and how we want to build processes to be able to contribute to the planet. So, ko tarawera te maunga, ko tangi wāwhao o te atua, te moana, ko te puaringa te awa, ko te arawa te waka, ko tuhaurangi te iwi, ko Ngāti wāhi o te hapu, ko wāhi o te whare tūpuna, ko te rau aroha te wharekai, ko te pakira te marae, ko Jason Jacobs aho. Whenever we speak in Aotearoa or New Zealand, you always speak, first you identify the mountain, then you identify the body of water that you grew up with or you were around. Then you identify the river, which is what I spoke about, our river Te Puinga, Te Puaringa and Rotorua. Then you talk about the canoe, your tribe, which is Te Arawa, one of the first people to land in Aotearoa and to navigate in Indigenous innovations, helping communities to grow, to love, and to give love back to the people and to the lands. And I spoke about a place where I was learning about the Ngāti wāhi o te hapu. And then Te Whare Tūpuna, ko Waihia, is a place where my ancestors give me strength to go in my direction to help people that I wish to serve. And so this, around this whole values concept and space, helping our young social entrepreneurs, whether you're 100 years old, you're 50 years old, or you're 10 years old coming into the world, your values are so important. And if you don't mind, Goma, could you put up the values slide of Catalyst 2030? And I wanted to move into why Catalyst has been able to further support the communities they wish to help. So here you see our values, and these are simple values, and the simplicity of things can help you get through the complexity of the issues that you're facing, whether you're a social entrepreneur or you want to become a social entrepreneur, or you're building out certain structures and things that can help you. And so people and nature at the center. And our wonderful speaker was just addressing it. And co-creative mindset looks at how we have these aspects of working together in a creative mindset and having a collaborative leadership, humble audacity, and a spirit of generosity. And that spirit of generosity I know is in the room, and that's illustrated by our wonderful coordinators in ICEA and UNISCAP, bringing everyone together to hear their voices, to be able to interact, collaborate, and create these values. Now, Catalyst 2030, these are the simple values that everyone in the organization tries to apply in relation to their SDGs. And it's can be different for everyone, but having that clear understanding of why you're in the room is why values are so fundamental. And because from these core values, you can innovate, you can collaborate, you can ideate, and you can be present where you stand to serve the communities that you value and need your meaningful fires that permeate from all of you. Innovation comes from being present, as our wonderful speaker just spoke now about being present and identifying ways you can help your communities, working together, understanding the place you come to stand on, and listening to your environments, and not calibrating in silos. It's I loved being a part of Catalyst 2030 because I was able to be humbled to be able to communicate with my Asian family and friends, with my South American Asian family and friends, with my African Asian family and friends, with our European and with our Oceania family and friends. And so the values really struck a chord for me just before COVID come along, because people and nature at the center. That was fundamental, because then we realized all these other aspects, if you don't hold on to your core values, then we can get lost and we can lose our way. And so I wanted to just talk about that and investment. So when we talk about investment, it shouldn't just be the dollars that you're fortunate to receive from certain organizations that want to help your people and processes. It should be your investment in yourself. It should be investment in what you want to co-creatively balance, how you should have a spirit of generosity. So for every 3 things you receive, you try to give 1 back. And I know you will, and I know you can. And despite our environmental impasse that's happened, the Australasian community, maybe we realize, maybe we've never been, maybe right now in the biggest crisis that we've faced for humankind in the last 100-odd years, maybe now we've realized we can become more of a family in terms of working together to help education, to help children, to help processes, and leaning on Indigenous systems where people locally are driving these initiatives that I know are many of you in the room. If you have something inside of you and you want to bring it out, so your place of standing can be present, so you can work through your values to help the community that you love and you want to give your energy to, and then the universe will give it back 100-fold. I wanted to leave you with a little metaphor around a plant, a bush, and a tree. Well, we all know, no matter where we come from on this beautiful planet of ours, that it requires a little bit of water. It requires a little bit of effort. It requires a little bit of design, and it requires a lot of love to enable that tree, that forest, that community to grow, because the importance is to love yourself, and then you can love your communities and give that energy back to yourselves. So I wanted that message to come through clear today, because as you see, that's the paper front, our mission, our vision, our values, but they have to be people in nature at the center. And from there, you can generate your wonderful ideas, your wonderful way you can fit for community and how you want to bring the best you. But I have a small caveat for everyone. If you ain't healthy, you can't help anybody. So my lasting words would be to give that love to yourself, so then you can be the best version of what you want to be, helping your communities. I hope today you have a wonderful interaction and speaking with each other and coming up with ideas, and don't be afraid to fail, because if we didn't have failure in certain processes, we'd never learn, we'd never grow, we'd never develop ourselves. And so it's okay, because even in the mistake, you'll find what you want to do. And as we know, there's those 17 SDGs, and there's all the social entrepreneurship you want to bring to your entity. I would just say, take your time and stand still in the place where you stand, and listen to your environments and allow your people to come together. As this last slide shows, in the last 2 years, these are the people in the Australasian community that have come together, that are working together to create meaning for their industries, for their people, for their processes, for their organizations, and just as important, for themselves. Because if you don't take time for yourself, you can't have a healthy engagement with the wonderful things I know. And our wonderful speaker, Mr. Mechai, is passing on his knowledge and his wisdom to you all to say, take your time and understand that you can be making a difference. So that's all for me from Aotearoa, and on behalf of our Australasian Catalyst 2030 family, we wish you a wonderful day, and I look forward to an opportunity to meet you all in the near future, loving yourself, loving your people, your communities, and the systems and communities you wish to see. Take care, everyone.
Yes, thank you very much for Mr. Jason Jacobs for your valuable, inspiring sharing for us. Yes. Now we are for taking photo session. Lisa and Mr. Khun Mechai can first to take a photo. And also, yeah.